Hello friends, how are you? In this video, we'll discuss about money laundering and prevention. So welcome to Kinda Classes. Now we'll discuss about what is money laundering. Okay, see, like I have written here, money laundering is a concealing or disguising the identity of illegally obtained proceeds so that they appear to have originated from the legitimate sources. It is frequently a component of other much more serious crimes such as drug trafficking or robbery or extortion. According to the IMF, okay, global money laundering is estimated between 2 to 5% of world GDP. Okay, so this point you have to remember that 2 to 5% of world GDP is invested, when not invested, is wasted in money laundering purpose. See, money laundering is occurred by those person who are earning money through illegal sources. Okay, such as serious crimes, drug trafficking, robbery, extortion, etc. Okay, so to what is laundering? Laundering means washing something. Okay, there was the black money. Okay, they convert the black money into white money, and for that it is known as money laundering. Okay, so like in this figure you can mark that how dirty money is money laundered. Is laundered typically money laundering scenario. Okay, cash is collected through crimes. Okay, then you need to placement. First step is placement. Dirty cash enters into the financial system. Okay, so they put the money into the bank. Then layering. What is layering? Second step is layering. Criminals try to distance the money from the crime source. Okay, layering is what they will do after depositing it in bank. Then from that bank it will be transferred to different countries with different sources. That means small amounts will be transferred to different people who are situated in different country. Okay, then third step is integration. Okay, integration is money re-enter the economy through clean investment. Okay, then that small amount of fragmented part of money, okay, that will be invested in a company which can be known as a fraud company, or uh, company which doesn't have any existence, which is just registered and not nothing is happening in that company. So that money will be invested in that particular company, and from that the person who has done the money laundering will take the money. Okay, then how money laundering works? Okay, it involves three steps: placement, layering, integration. Like I have told you, placement puts the dirty money into the legitimate financial system. Then layering conceals source of money through the series of transactions and bookkeeping tricks. Okay, through series of transactions, yes, that I have told you that you need to send it to different countries to other people. Okay, in the case of integration, the now laundered money is withdrawn from the legitimate account to be used for criminal activities. That is the last step, integration step. Legitimate account will the money will be legitimated, and it will again come back to the source. Okay, then why money laundering works? Okay, see, a typical money laundering scheme, I have already told you: first collection of cash, then placement, then layering, then integration. Okay, this is the typical this is kind of typical money laundering works. See, when integration is occurred, it doesn't like that they will only give you the money. They can give you different gifts, such as these cars, bikes, helicopters, then big buildings. In this kind of investment you can find, then here it is globalized. The money will be transferred to globalized banks. Okay, from the bank of financial system, the initial bank. Then structuring also called smurfing. Okay, this is called smurfing. This structure is called smurfing. Then bulk cash smuggling. If you have so much money and you don't want to give tax, you want to get rid of tax procedure, then you can do this money laundering. So many people in India, just because to save on the money of tax, they are doing this money laundering. Then cash intensive business. Okay, these are the reasons why money laundering occurs. Okay, Then trade based laundering. Okay, then shell company are those companies, like I have told you, that the company which is just registered and I mean it's not functioning. Okay, those companies are known as shell companies. Then round tripping is this rounding, I mean this entire process is called round tripping. Okay, then gambling, if somebody is doing gamble, then that money is also black money. Then black salaries, okay, like bitcoin, if somebody is having bitcoin through illegal source, then what they will do, they have to do money laundering to get it in white money terms and to utilize it. Okay, then amnesties. Okay, somebody who need to I mean what hide his tax benefits, I mean doesn't want to give the tax to government, so that's why that can be the part of money laundering, cause of money laundering. Then transaction laundering. Okay, these are the reasons of money laundering. Then money laundering impacts, what is the impact of money laundering? Okay, then economic impacts basically is, if one country's money is going to another country and they don't give the tax for that money, then definitely economic impacts will be there. And the reasons, the circumstances, consequences of that economic impacts is undermine legitimacy of private sector. Okay, then undermines integrity of financial markets. Okay, then loss of control of economic policy. Then economic distortion and instability. Then loss of revenue, security threats to privatization efforts, volatility in exchange of rates and interest rates due to unanticipated transfers of funds. Okay, then rise of economic prices, then affects trade and international capital flows. Okay, obviously if money is not invested in your I mean if tax is not given for earning money, then definitely government won't be able to utilize that amount for the welfare and development of the country. So economic impacts will be there, and these are the different points. Okay, then money laundering impacts, social impacts. What is the social impact? Increased criminality. Yes, obviously, if somebody is having confidence that through criminalization he can earn money and make it white, make it convert it to white through money laundering process, then obviously criminality will be increased. And decreases of human development. Obviously, if tax money is not invested in, I mean, if people are doing tax forgery, then definitely government cannot do the human development. Then misallocation of resources. Okay, misallocation of resources, obviously resources cannot be allocated in a proper way, then affects trust of local citizens in their domestic financial institutions. Yes, obviously, if Nirav Modi is taking 9,000 crores or Vijay Mallya is taking 9,000, 8,000 crores and run away from your country, then obviously that is the money of the common citizens. So that common citizens cannot trust the same bank again. Okay, then declines the moral and social position of the society by exposing it to activities. Okay, moral and social position of the society will be deteriorated, and such as drug trafficking, smuggling, corruption, and other criminal activities will be increased. Okay, then what is political impact? Say initiates political distrust and instability. Yes, if somebody is taking the money and run away from the company, then from the country, then people cannot believe that same government, because government is not able to catch that thief or catch that money laundering process. Then criminalization of politics. Then obviously criminalization of politics will be there, because certain politicians or government officials are also involved in money laundering processes. Then government initiatives, what governments has taken initiatives to prevent this money laundering act. Okay, then criminal law amendment ordinance. Okay, it is 1944. It covers the proceeds of only certain crimes such as corruption, breach of trust, and cheating, and not all the crimes under the Indian Penal Code. Okay, this act you have to remember, Criminal Law Amendment Ordinance. Okay, 1944. The smugglers and foreign exchange manipulators forfeiture property. Property Act 1976. It covers penalty of illegally acquired properties of smugglers and foreign exchange manipulators for the matters connected therewith, incidental thereto. Okay, so that's why this raid and all happening in the certain person's home. If somebody is not giving tax, then obviously income tax department will put a raid on their home. Okay, then narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances yet Act 1985, it provides for the penalty of property derived from or used in illegal traffic in narcotic drugs. Okay. See, drugs, people are getting more and more money, and that money is laundered. So that's why it's important to put Act on Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1995. Then Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 PMLA. Okay, it forms the core of legal framework put in place by India to combat money laundering. The provisions of the act is applicable to all the financial institutions, banks, including RBI mutual funds, insurance companies, and the financial intermediaries. Yes, this Prevention of Money Laundering Act is putting an eye about the money that if so many transactions are happened from a single amount or single bank account, or a single bank account is getting money from a lot of sources, international sources, then obviously from that is the suspected, and they will take action against him. Then this PMLA was amended in 2012. Okay, adds the concept of reporting entity, which would include a banking company, financial institution, intermediary, etc. That is cell company, which we have discussed. And PMLA 2002 levied a fine up to 5 lakh, but the Amendment Act was removed this upper limit. Okay. It is provided for provisional attachment and confiscation of property any person involved in such activities. Okay. Okay. Then Financial Intelligence Unit, it is an independent body reporting directly to the Economic Intelligence Council (EIC), headed by the Finance Minister. Then Enforcement of Directorate (ED), it is a law enforcement agency and economic intelligence agency responsible for the enforcing of economic laws and fighting economic crime in India. Okay, this enforcement directorate is basically looking after the economic crisis and economic crimes in India. One of the main functions of ED is to investigate offences of money laundering under the provisions of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Okay, this ED committee is also looking after the investigate offences of money laundering act under PMLA Act 2002, which was further amended in 2012. Okay, it can take actions like confiscation of property if the same is determined, like this. Vijay Mallya's property was seized. Okay, once he has left the country. This ED committee, Enforcement Directorate Committee, they are only seizing the property of that person who has taken away the money from India and run away. Okay, then proceeds of crime derived from a scheduled offences under PMLA. Okay, and prosecute the persons involved in offense of money laundering. Then India is a full-fledged member of FATF. This FATF is Financial Action Task Force. Okay, follows the guidelines of the same. Okay, Financial Action Task Force, what they are doing, they are putting sanctions, like they have put this Pakistan and Turkey as grey list. Once this FATF will put any country in grey list, then World Bank or IMF won't give them loan. Okay, that country loan they won't get, and this is because they are giving priority to money laundering and supporting this terrorist activities. Okay, then global initiatives prevention. What is the global initiatives? We have to know the Vienna Convention. It creates obligation for signatory states to criminalize laundering of money from drug trafficking. Okay, then the 1990 Council of Europe Convention, it establishes a common criminal policy on money laundering. Then G10 Basel Committee Statement of Principles, it is issued a statement of principles with which the international banks of member states are expected to comply. G10 group is also doing some preventive actions against this money laundering process. See, money laundering is not the India's problem. It is a global pollution, problem. So every country has to come forward to prevent this money laundering process. The International Organization of Security Commissions (IOSCO) it encourages its members to take necessary steps to combat money laundering in securities and future markets. Okay, this IOSCO is also doing the job to prevent money laundering. The International Organization of Security Commissions. Then this Financial Action Task Force I have told you, it has been set up by the government of G7 countries at the in 1989 Economic Summit as a representative from 24 OECD countries, then Hong Kong, Singapore, the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC) countries, then European Commissions. It monitors members' progress in applying measures to counter money laundering. The famous 40 recommendations are given by FATF. Okay, 40 recommendations are given by FATF. Then IMF it has mm, International Monetary Fund. It pledged 189 member countries to comply with international standards to thwart terrorist financing. Okay, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime it proactively tries to identify and stop money laundering. Okay. Threats of money laundering supported by the emerging technologies need to be addressed with very advanced money laundering mechanisms like big data and artificial intelligence. Both international and domestic stakeholders need to come together by strengthening the data sharing mechanisms amongst them to effectively eliminate the problem of money laundering. As sometimes even countries like Malaysia and UK, which are giving shelter to those persons who have done money laundering or who is taking money from one country to the other country. Because those countries you don't have to pay tax and able to take you out from that country because that country's rule is something like that. So those countries has to change the rules because this is a global problem. Money laundering is not a domestic problem; it's a global problem. So every country has to come forward to prevent this. And ASEAN specific strategy or money laundering is a regional affiliate of international exports. Okay, has placed Pakistan in enhanced expedited call of list that's blacklist for its future missions. This Asia specific group APG regional affiliate that is put Pakistan in blacklist. Okay, now and FATF put it in